Okay, now that I have my base shape all forged out, I actually got pretty close. It's, as you know, it's probably not the most historically accurate, but then again, I usually do more inspired by than based on, especially because unless I'm making something that's maybe, you know, probably post-World War One, I don't even think spring steel would have been something they would have used a lot for blades. Although I guess they did technically have leaf springs on like old wagons, so I guess maybe they did. I don't know, so maybe 200 years. But, you know, this was made back when iron and bronze were still the primary metals being used. At least iron anyway. I don't know how much the bronze ones are. Anyway, I'm not a historian. Maybe if someone knows in the comments, you can tell me a little more about these historically. I'm always willing to learn more things about what I'm making. I just know some basics. But what I'm going to do is grind it more to shape. And then I want to try and grind this out a little bit. And I was thinking about forging this out a little bit more because a lot of them have kind of a hook. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So I'll probably just hollow this out a little. And then here I'll probably give it a little more space, then forge that back around a little bit. Just so that way it's not that. Plus it's huge. Like, my hand isn't that big. But I do have small hands. Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Not important. So anyway, grind it the shape. Grind this. Forge it a little bit more to make it what I want. Then I'm going to take my large angle grinder, grind the flats of it, and then take a belt sander and sand it. So now that I have my blade ground and sanded, and wow, that took a lot longer than I wanted it to. That's why I'm not a fan of grinding on swords. I like making them, but it's a lot of work. And I went ahead and drilled 2 pinholes, just 3/16, which is the same size as my brass rod I'm going to put through. I was going to put a metal piece here and then have it etched to where it looks like the rest of my blade, which is what I'm going to do. So it has a really dark edge. And then I was going to, you know, make the handle dark and just have that. But then I thought like I was going to use, well, the way I was going to do it, I couldn't find a way to do it very well that wasn't going to end up being a lot more work than I really wanted to put in. Not that I don't mind the work, it just didn't seem like it was going to be worth it. And probably was going to turn out like I wanted it to for the amount of work I was going to have to do. So I was just going to make it wood. And then I thought that, what if instead of making it dark like everything, I make it brass like the pins are? Because I have a little bit of a, I think it's 1/8 inch brass sheet that I got a long time ago. Never used for anything. So I'm just going to cut that and kind of wrap it around here. Because a lot of swords like this, they actually have a metal piece that's on here. But it's usually, I think, forged into the blade. And some of them have handles that are also just forged out. So these are very interesting blades. But then again, they were Iron Age, so they don't. I don't think they quite had the technology that we have now, or even like in the Middle Ages and stuff, where a lot of our sword designs come from, where they, I think, had a little more idea of how to make these things better. But that's not really important. I'm gonna go heat treat this and then temper it, and then go find something to eat. I'm hungry. Okay, now I got my blade sanded out and etched after heat treating and tempering, of course. I have, let me, that there. I have these 2 pieces cut out. This is like a red oak, I think. It's oak of some kind. I had some in my shop for a while, as you can tell. Anyway, they're gonna act as my handle scales. I usually go with hickory, but I went with oak this time because I want it to have a like really distinct wood grain. I think it'll look cool with the blade and like the etched look. So again, another thing that wouldn't be historically accurate because oak is an American wood and wouldn't have been available in ancient Greece. Not for like a few thousand years, I think. I don't know much about trees, but I know oak's American. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch this in the vise and drill these 2 holes in with a hand drill. Then take JB weld, attach to both of these, and then put these, well, these aren't pins, this is technically a brass rod. But I'm going to stick those in after I cut it into pins, and then sand my handle to shape. Okay, so it is now the next day, and this was glued down. You know, it happens. But anyway, I pried it off, so now I have this really clunky handle. Anyway, coming along nicely though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a farrier's rasp and kind of knock down a lot of the excess here. I find that's kind of the fastest way to really remove a lot of the material. And then once that's done, I'm going to go to my belt sander, clean everything up, kind of round everything out. Then just some hand sanding to really finish it off. And then I'm going to go with a nice, probably ebony wood stain. With this oak, I find it brings out the wood grain. It looks really nice. I think mentioned I put brass here, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because now that I'm thinking about it, I think this is going to look really dumb. Like, I think if done right, it would look really cool, but the way I would do it, I think it's just going to look dumb. So I think I'm just going to kind of shape it and then stain it. Hopefully that crack isn't going to be an issue. I mean, it's not coming off. It's JB welded down. It's not going anywhere, but we'll see. we have a not historically accurate Greek kopis. I say not historically accurate because the material alone isn't iron or bronze. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed, and I'm definitely not shooting this little outro like 2 weeks after the blade was done because I forgot to do it. And I'm just doing this like probably 30 minutes before I upload the video. You can't prove anything. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Also, I made a combat knife version of these. It's also done, but won't be up for a couple of weeks.